The U.S. reaction here, especially on college campuses. Cornell had a very scary situation, and Cornell is not alone, where Jewish students are feeling isolated, to say the least, scared for their lives, and I'm not seeing a reaction to like the Ukraine war or other things, this we talked about off camera. But Richard, what do you make of this?
Look, this is horrific. As you say, there's selective outrage here. Where are the protests against all the people in Yemen or Ukraine or in Iran? So I'm not saying that everything Israel's done has been, perfect. Obviously, it hasn't. There have been civilian casualties. Right. But the hypocrisy of these reactions. Second of all, where are these campus authorities? Where are they protecting Jewish students? If this were any other group or any other minority on campus, do you think their reactions would be the same way? Come on. This is outrageous what is going on. And universities are clearly failing educationally, and they're clearly failing in their obligations to provide, to make students feel safe. We hear all this talk, Mika, about safe spaces. Well, what's happening on these campuses? We're not talking about people who don't like reading that line in a book, in Huckleberry Finn.
Right.
These have become truly unsafe spaces. Kids are feeling pressure. They're feeling intimidated, physically threatened. There is something seriously wrong on our campuses.
Yeah, and there's no question, Elise, that we should differentiate. I mean, what's happening at Cornell and some of these other schools where students feel under threat, that is unforgivable. There's also, though, we have seen it, mass protests, peaceful, largely, both in Europe and here in the United States. There was a huge one in Midtown. The Brooklyn Bridge was shut down over the weekend for people marching to the Palestinian cause. We've also had people, of course, marching for the Israeli cause. It encapsulates just how inflamed and delicate the situation is.
Well, then if it's like that here, just think about the Arab Street and what we saw in the immediate aftermath of the war beginning, and the potential that support for Israel, what's going to happen to these different supportive governments? How can they balance their power and their grip on power with still, supporting their newish ally?
I know there were some schools that really had even the top tier, the presidents of the universities failed in their response, and such a slow response. I know Dartmouth had two really, really interesting panels that sort of showed a lot of different sides, which it is. It's a multifaceted, confusing, long history of struggle situation, and it requires a long conversation, and they were able to do it. But a lot of schools are getting caught up in the vitriol and the instant reaction, and they're not responding as well as you'd think they would. There are a number of Ivies that just didn't.
Harvard, Pennsylvania, but campuses are meant to be places where you have intellectual exchange,
to have the
free speech, and
Absolutely.
suddenly
nothing against that.
And we're not seeing it.